Mel,
Brandon,
good to see you.
top of the morning to you.
I know. First ever morning edition, right?
A brunch? No, we did another brunch one.
Did we?
Yeah, we did.
I think we did one at lunch.
Yeah, yeah. This is earlier than.
We're still drinking coffee. Haven't switched to the real stuff.
Irish coffee.
Oh, yours is Irish. Damn it. I missed out.
Hello, hot coffee. Who's this?
Oh, the old El Donut Shape.
Ike and Heidi.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you. Thank you.
So, what do you want to talk about? I kind of got an idea. I want to talk about year-end review. I mean, we've had feel like we've accomplished a lot.
Makes sense.
As a city.
We brought up a lot. I don't know what we accomplished. We damn sure brought some stuff up.
Well, maybe not us specifically, but I'm just saying as a town, we've made some progress, and I'd like to touch on it.
Well, they give us plenty of ammunition, so yeah, let's talk about the year-end review. Because it damn sure is the year-end review, you know?
We're getting pretty close. I mean, we'll probably get one of these one more shot before.
What are we at? Episode
24, I think.
Holy cow.
24.
Damn.
Who would have thought we made it this long?
Not I. We're still here. FCC, nobody.
Nobody shut us down
Yeah,
yet.
they haven't kicked the door in.
Waiting on it.
Waiting on it. What do you think?
Pistol sold that you can't even find ammunition for.
No, you can buy. They got a company came out. Black Hills came out with a 44 Russian black powder low pressure cartridge just for these.
Well, so what year is it?
This is a 1870 Model 3 44 Russian Smith & Wesson top brake cavalry model.
Cool.
With a cavalry tang for saber defense. So you would actually fight a enemy saber off, or a lance off with this, and that was to keep from cutting your damn hand with your fingers off. So they say. But, yeah, first top brake. Or not the first top brake, but these top brakes, well, that way the cavalryman could flip them out, and then he would take his pistol in his reins hand and recharge it, and they could charge and fire faster than you could unload a single action Colt Army.
Unless you're Jerry Micklick.
He doesn't shoot a single action Army. He shoots a 625. So he shoots a Smith, he didn't shoot a Colt.
Cool.
Yeah.
How we have evolved.
Have we evolved? There's still metallic cartridges. This thing's 100 and some years old, 140 years old.
No, our guns are made of plastic now.
We have evolved. Gone from metal to plastic. How about that discussion this morning about self-driving cars?
Oh, this morning, yeah. Talking about Teslas, people driving, sleeping while they drive, yeah. Seems like a great idea.
We had
for, natural selection. It'll work things out.
Or if you're drinking.
Yeah, we were talking about that. So you put the car in autopilot, and then you tell it to take you home, and you get in the passenger seat, and the car gets pulled over.
Yeah.
Hence, the car gets pulled over.
Yeah.
And
because you're a passenger.
Because you're a passenger. I mean, how does that work out in the law of the land?
Well, you're the passenger, but there's nothing to work out. The cop pulls you over. Well, why would he pull you over? If thing's so damn good, there's no reason to pull you over because it makes no mistakes. So you'll never get pulled over in the first place. Saturation checkpoint.
So you're implying. You're implying that people don't ever get pulled over for no reason.
Oh. Yeah, you got me on that one. got me on that.
It's called a checkpoint. They pull you over for no reason.
Saturation checkpoint. They pull you over. So they pull the car. What if the car doesn't stop? The cop yells at it, and the car, of course, it doesn't.
Listen to cops.
Depends on who programs it, I guess. Man, we got to find something we can actually wrap our heads around. So yeah, what is the year in review? Where do we start? We start with some meager, dark cave, dim-lidded, poorly, and we didn't have the staff.
I know. Thank you, staff, for being with us, sticking in there.
Bam.
Appreciate you.
You are hot. We do appreciate y'all, though, the support mechanism. Thank you. And we couldn't do it without the
A-team.
Should we rotate? Now we can't rotate the camera. We pan back.
Thank you, Doug.
Yeah, we'll put you in the credits. In the credit rolls, you'll all be in there.
So I don't want to dwell on any one thing because it's taken forever to get past them episode after episode. But I feel like, I mean, I heard this the other day from one of the syndicated hosts. I don't remember if it was Mell More or one of the national hosts, but kind of interesting. And I think it even applies to our little town. But we went from having a mentality at a national level and even at a local level of the Obama legacy. And it wasn't just Obama, it was also Bush and the Clintons, but this is with the mentality that this is the greatest days, the best we've ever seen is behind us. And we got to live with this standard status quo of, okay, the bridge on over the Chestnut, it fails, and we're just going to have to close it down because that was effective.
Can't be done.
It can't be done. And now we're progressing into this Trump's America.
The hospital is a different animal. This is the way it is.
And we're progressing into this new Trump America where we have an opportunity where our greatest days are among us, and to what's to come. And I think that mindset of, even the West Chestnut Bridge 10 years ago or whenever that thing closed down, why did they close it? There was absolutely no damn reason for it. Fix it and move on. So I haven't got the final numbers, but I heard it was so far it's south of 30,000.
It was a tenth of what the low prediction was. What the low prediction was. So the low prediction was 250,000. Did it for 23,000.
See, I mean, we haven't got pavement on it yet.
Well, then there still is a little bit more to do. They've got to do some structural enhancements to it. But then it's good for another 30, 40 years.
So build the bridge, Jim Seibert.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah,
you did exactly.
Or thank you or not thank you. Depends on which side of the bridge you're on. Do we want the white elitists to be able to drive through our neighborhoods at will? Do we want that?
I'm going to allow them to do it.
Well, they'll criticize. They'll come in, you parked in your yard. Or why don't you paint your house? Bring that damn white elitist attitude into our little peaceful
town,
thriving community.
But no, that's exactly a great example at a low level local city politics of where because what our general populace of people want the bridge open, but the government, our city government and the county government and the state government, they were given every reason. Every scare tactic, same way with the hospital, that it can't be fixed, and then the bridge.
People will die if you change it. People will die.
So, I don't know, Mel. I just feel like we're on the right track, and I know you know plenty of examples of we've seen over, and even a change in guard at the city level.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the mentality is getting better.
I think it is. I think it is.
You went to the commission meeting or the work session Friday, and you kind of spoke to that a little bit. But
we spoke about a couple points. Well, the Chestnut Bridge was brought up, and then all of a sudden it goes from potentially the high of $4 million, the low of 250,000 just to make it usable to 23,000. I mean, come on. So. The thoughts were, are these just scare tactics that throw these numbers out there and skew them one way? If you want it to be good, it's low. If you want it to be bad, it's high.
Yeah.
And versus the truth. Just tell us the damn truth, and we can live with it. We're all adults here. Well, most of us, there's some adults out there. Rephrase that. We're not all adults out there. But even the thought that if you get the clarity of the commission looking at stuff other than staff recommends, you see a whole new picture, though it's a whole new ball game. And there's these shiny in the hospital, the shiny examples.
So you kind of reflected Friday on the hospital board.
Yeah,
they discussed that, right?
They discussed that about changing and getting out from underneath this, or having the city commissioners not be the hospital representation, and putting it back to where it was. And of course, then the problem putting it back to where it would go back to the way it was, and that's the damn problem.
And it took, I don't know how many years, but
10
or 20 years to get that old board off of there. And it wasn't like there was a single bad board member. It was just a bad collection of people. And there's some great folks that were on there, but together it was a terrible board. I mean, I sat in on those board meetings, and nobody asked constructive questions, did any cognitive thinking. It was just head nodding and...
as what you see in board after board after board, they only want like members on those board. They don't want any kind of dissension. They don't want any kind of different point of view, or they don't want any objective way of thinking.
And I know it wasn't easy, and like Mayor Warren, I mean, I know he's personally lost some friends over that decision, and to your point, why do we want to go back to that? And I don't. Did they agree with that premise? That
They very, oh, absolutely did.
so okay,
Absolutely.
so that's another example of progress. I mean, right there.
And they agreed to the acknowledge, but we can't let it go back there. Now, yet they don't have a scheme to keep from doing that, even if that's possible. So my argument was, you're seeing this this failure of interest, or but it's a city-owned deal, so it is in their best interest, whichever way they vote. There's and the thought of having elected officials in there that are going to cycle out on a regular amount versus the entrenched people that everybody's afraid of, as you said, that Jay Warren lost all these friends over there. The entrenched people were offended that they weren't the best. Well, the only way you can keep them offended being the best is have an election cycle where they're elected in and out versus they get entrenched there and they vote for each other. They only recommend each other. And actually, you see it on board after board after board. It's the same damn thing.
And this is a big company. I mean, the hospital, it's more than $20 million a year in revenue. I mean,
160 people,
employees,
yeah,
something like that. I mean, it's a big company, and we got to make sure that it's ran correctly. And the idea that we can just run it aloof is ridiculous.
The magic word. It's a big company.
Yeah.
That's the magic word. It's a company. It's not a damn bureaucratic entity. And if it's run like a bureaucratic entity, it's going to be run the way it was, and it'll always be in the red. Turn to a company, and it has to run in the black.
Or it won't exist.
Yeah, or you'll change people until it does run in the black. You will figure it out. Because if you don't make that bottom line, you got two choices. You either fix it or you're out of business. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You can't carry the stuff. So, but as long as the taxpayers are carrying it, which is the horrible thing about everything, is the taxpayers. So it's not your money; it's the taxpayers' money. Just like, we got a grant for that. Well, where the hell do you think grant money comes from?
Yeah, I love that. It was grants.
Unless
grant is somebody's first name that gave you a lot of money, I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah, unless it's Ulysses Grant. Grants are expensive. You're paying for a grant. And we're paying for everybody else's grants too. Think, we're just getting our own money back. That's a mindset. That's true. That is a mindset. But the thought that the grants are offered at all is a big problem, because this commingling of public and private money is a bad thing. And that's what grants and all these things, all they are.
So you had to list three things that we really turned around. And I said we, meaning the city.
Have turned around, yeah.
I want to touch on them real quick, and I know you made a couple notes, but
where do we start? Do we start from furthest date back and chronological, or start most prevalent?
Just highlights, quick highlights.
Well, one of the first things we talked about is the water plant, and they're coming around in the water plant the belief that the realization that, hey, we're not getting there, and that has become a paramount issue. Now they're really starting to push forward.
Because they had trouble acknowledging that the water plant was breaking all the lines in town. We had over 40 or 50 main breaks.
60 plus.
Okay, all these main
breaks.
breaks.
Can't attribute 100% to the water plant, but way beyond the pale of how many we should have.
So, they got some things figured out, got some software change, and these brownouts that were changing the system, and they made some measurable changes that improved that.
Well, they weren't really measurable; they were just minor tweaks here and there. But they were trying to overcome what I consider an inherent problem within the plant. They don't have a maintaining system; either the pumps are on or they're off, and that shock on the line. It may just be a few psi for just a couple minutes, but our lines are 80 years old and they're cast iron. They're all crap, and they all cart front of the horse kind of deal. So we tweaked that up. They got that fixed up, and whether that was involved because of public outcry or because the reality of it, who knows? I mean, the speculation that hey, you finally figured it out after, and if a water main break, they're $3-4 grand a piece. I don't care what they tell you, but a cheap one's $3 or $4 grand.
Sure,
they're getting to 10-15 grand real quick. We did one. We charged them $25,000, low bidder, and we're proficient and streamlined to do that kind of stuff. How much money you spend on your infrastructure is directly proportional to how well you run it.
So off the water plant, I'm kind of over it, but
that's fine.
One of the things, even at the commissioner forums, when everybody was trying to get elected, one thing that everybody did poke on, whether it was just a selling point or a talking point to get reelected, but was infrastructure. Even Dwayne acknowledge the importance of it. And obviously, one of Canyon Ginger's biggest pushes, and Travis Pierman as well, although he didn't get elected, but Scotty Rogers reflected on it as well. So I think going forward, I do believe this commission's going to focus on that.
Well, but is it kind of cat's out of the bag kind of deal? Oh, gee.
We have to focus on it?
Yeah. All of a sudden we're forced to focus on it
Maybe
because
so,
it's
but
failing at such a rapid pace.
But it's going to get done. That's all Trump's done with a
We've
lot of the
talked-
things he's done at national level is expose things.
Good point. Good point.
And guess what it does? Gets it addressed.
But the infrastructure repair has been on the city budget line item. When they talk about city budget line item, they don't spend it. They like what they like. So, but it's been a city budget line item for as long as I've known. They just don't go that way.
But it's not enough.
They don't spend what they allocated
What they
to go that
earmarked for
direction.
it?
Yeah.
Probably not.
And this thought of changing fire hydrants out. You need to change fire hydrants, but they're repairable. But it's not the damn fire hydrant. But
It's the line going to the fire hydrant.
and this goes to wage disparity, keeping your guys, infrastructure wage disparity. But as you said, not that we're over it, but there's so much other stuff to talk about. We touched on that and realized the validity of it and realized the weightiness of it. That's the first thing we talked about.
Yes.
So it has some real weight to it, a real dimension.
And I think it's going to move forward into 2020.
Well, if it doesn't, the failure's just going to become so air apparent. So when Creekstone fires up, which is going to happen, and they're going to have a bigger demand. They're already the number one water user.
Yeah, they use 40% of our water.
We're increasing that by 50 or 100%. They're not, and we're not up to the task. We've got a ways to go.
The hospital, we already touched on. Big milestone there. Got Bowman in place. Got Tamara out of the equation with all the, the people that couldn't pay their bills there, and she was the collections person. It was a terrible situation the way she handled people and finances. So I was.
And it really wasn't about the need to collect. It was the mannerism and who she was collecting against.
Yes.
If the person doesn't have the money, we make the mistake of servicing them in the first place and thinking that after the fact we're going to get something that they don't have. Kind of ridiculous. And you're bleeding them white already, so I mean, what's the point? But just the mannerism of the hate letters. I mean, we got one. We'd already paid the damn bill. It was a booking error, but boy, the aggressiveness, the attack mentality of this thing, like instead of saying, "Hey, can we help you out? What can we do for you?" And right now they've changed that. They say we're going to give you a pass on all.
It was like an amnesty, right?
Yeah. On all your penalties and interest, we're going to waive all that. Just pay your damn principal, or at least make arrangements to pay your principal, and that's how you collect money.
So that was good. Plus, getting her out of the city side of things too, which was she needed to go. She was.
Well, if that wasn't a conflict of interest, nothing is.
Yes.
I mean, that was a direct conflict of interest, and they talk about the conflict of interest between the city commissioners and the hospital board. I don't see it at all. I mean, it got brought up when you were in office. What was your conflict of interest?
Oh, because my wife is a marketing person at Creekstone.
Your wife had a job. I mean, if you want to find a crime, you'll find it. I mean, there's always something that's not exactly perfect.
I don't always wear my seatbelt.
God, are you kidding me?
Don't tell him.
We're a target. Had a reason to kick the door in now. What? You don't always wear your seatbelt?
Let's see, what else do you have, Mel? I know there was another big hot one.
I think I saw it.
Oh, the city manager. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I literally think that we're going to go from having a city manager that loves to spin on, as a spinning frenzy on everything from the overdone granite and tile in the water plant to I'm hoping we'll find a guy or gal that's conservative by nature and wants to fix the things that actually mean something to people.
Well, yeah, conservative. I'm by nature, I'm a liberal. I am absolutely a liberal. I'm bleeding heart liberal, tree hugger. I'm all those things. But the reality is, I got to have a bottom line. I got to make money. I got to make payroll. I've got to make ends meet. I have to make things happen. So that trumps.
I love Trump.
That's all I do too. But that's what Trump's saying. That's where some of the liberals think that world, that utopia world that they think, that doesn't exist. And to think that a splash pad is what we need when all this shit's falling apart.
Is it going to save the town?
Have a splash pad?
Yes.
Well.
Just like the new football field
exactly.
brought a lot more people to town.
If we have a good football field, businesses will automatically come here. It's proven. Everybody knows that.
And we'll win more games.
And we'll win more. We will be state champions again.
It's been 40 years.
And of course, you would say to them, "Well, hey, if you become a state champion, then we'll build you a new. How about build a new stadium then? Same with the hospital. You make this hospital where we've got to expand it, we'll expand it. But this
We'll get you an Applebee's.
It's just the insanity of the way people think that is feasible. I just don't.
I think 2020 is going to be great. I think we'll get a new manager in here. We're going to get a new city attorney in here. It's going to be great.
Yeah, and the new city attorney, I don't know. They're still up in the air on how to select one, where to select one. There, who knows? I mean,
I got to ask for that too. If they don't end up publishing, I guess I'll ask for it from an open record standpoint. But I went a few weeks ago to the meeting, and probably been a month and a half ago now, and said, "Hey, what's your process on this?" "Oh, we're getting ready to publish it," and that was before Thanksgiving, and yet still to see anything.
And I don't know if they're dragging their feet or they don't know what to do. It's hard to tell. I mean,
I think it's just again, back to Nick Hernandez being a subversive punk, doesn't like to show his city commissioners what's going on. That's exactly what's going on from my perspective. So.
Well, but I mean, for what end? I'm not following the.
What's his why? I have no idea why.
Possibly the end game. But it goes back to on your resume, on your city manager resume. For some reason, spending money seems to be a goal for spending. That's the thing that's a feather in their cap, is to spend copious amounts of tax money.
You worked, you got a new job.
Of course, the discussion was, did anybody from Dodge City call us? Oh, don't let them call. What if they change it?
They did contact us, and we wrote him a letter of recommendation.
A big one, a long one.
Just kidding. But I would have.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't really bag on Nick too much because he's directed by the commissioners. If the commissioners let it go, then
that's fair.
We can bitch about Nick, but the reality is the commissioners
got to hold him accountable.
Yeah, absolutely. Blind eye, but we don't vote him out because once again, Travis didn't get in. Maybe Dwayne would come around and go from dead Wayne to Dwayne, which I'm praying that'll happen. But it's not. It's not I don't think it's an IQ issue. I think it's a realization that stop believing these people. Stop believing this fairy tale crap. You know, hey, let's build a splash pad. It's a better town. It's not a better town. Oh, go ahead and laugh. Go ahead and laugh. See, I can have my thoughts of things can be better. I can think that. I know it can't.
I just had this funny picture in my mind. If the splash pad's that great, I want to see all the commissioners use it.
Ooh.
Put your swim gear on there.
I'm about ready to gouge my eyes out with that thought.
and bounce your happy asses on the splash pad. That's what I want to see.
Just like, I can't get it out of my head.
If it's that great, use it.
I can't get out of my head.
All right.
I know my dogs will like it.
Give them a great place to piss.
All right. City manager, city attorney, East Bridge.
Yep, we already touched on it.
Okay. We election of why we got close but no cigar. As far as we didn't get Berganini in and we didn't get Travis Pierman in.
That's because 10 people didn't show up to vote.
That's right.
That's
10
really
people
what
that I know.
That's really what happened. Hey, tell you guys, that's it.
10 people. 10 people.
You better think about that next time.
This voting, this responsibility of voting. I mean, it's a responsibility. This is your job. And if you really think the other side's doing a better job, when I say the other side, if you think it's better one way than the other, you're still not voting.
Yeah.
Even if you're against us, you're not voting because it was so damn close.
It's that close.
Unless everybody that's against us voted and everybody that's for us didn't vote, which that's why I'm playing it.
That's probably what happened.
That's what I'm saying.
No, we got to go. We're at like 20-some minutes.
Are you shitting me? Okay. Well, okay. I saw some value. The chip seal deal, when the bogus deal in the newspaper ran about it was everybody else's fault and this is the way it is.
When they dusted 8th Street, you
Well,
mean?
but then they came back and said, we didn't use the right stuff and everything, and that's a step in the right direction.
You mean
can
when-
make a mistake, just don't lie about it. Just say, hey, we won't do that again.
You mean when they showed up at the commission meeting and took ownership for it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good job.
Good job. Absolutely good job. Taking ownership of that stuff is not against you. Everybody screws up. It's not really a screw up unless if you can't fix it. But yeah, hopefully you fixed it.
Yeah, that's fine now.
Well, it's fine now. But what about, is the next one going to be
We'll
fine
see.
now? Did they learn their lesson?
We'll see what happens.
But just placating us helps. It's not the truth, but at least you told us something that we'd like to hear.
I'm out of coffee. It's time to go.
I got a little bit more, but you're right. Well, before we go, let's talk about wage disparity and infrastructure.
No, Mel. We're going to get Morrow on here to talk about that.
Oh, really? I'd like to see. I like to see HR talk about anything, because they hold themselves up. They wall themselves all off from the scrutiny of life.
We got to go.
I know it. We got drinking to do.
Mell More, signing off.
Hasta luego.